So thanks for hurrying up, I guess. We had to have a really quick lunch and get it all set up. Today we're going to be talking about OMS, log analytics. There's a lot of new things that have been announced, a lot of new releases and new changes that get released within OMS quite quickly. So in fact, I really had to pick and choose the things that were the most interesting to put forward to you guys. So my name is Rafaela. I'm an engineer for Microsoft, and I specialize in SCOM and OMS. This is my first time here in New Zealand, so I'm really looking forward to the week, and I really hope the weather holds up for us. So this is the agenda. We're just going to cover what OMS is, talk about log analytics, what's new, and also we're going to have a look at the roadmap. And then we're going to have some time at the end for questions. So we're running a little bit late today, so hold on to your questions until the end, and I'll make sure that we have some time then. Now, before we begin, I need your help. Have you guys got your phones out? Have you got your phones with you? Have you got a Twitter account? Come on. Snapchat? No, Twitter? Someone? Come on. Yes? Yes, get your phones out. Come on now, send a tweet. And use 2 hashtags. I want you to use the MS, Ignite, and Z hashtag, and also my session code so I can find you, which is M204. No one? Come on, people. Okay, I'm going to take a picture of you because if you don't do it, I'll do it. So let's. All right, hang on. Say, yay! Come on, people! Great enthusiasm! Yes. Okay, at least one. Okay, I see people still with the phones. Yeah? All right, perfect. Thank you, everyone. Okay, so what is OMS? OMS stands for Operations Management Suite. So it's a whole suite of products, of services, cloud services that work together. So it's based on 4 different services. So we've got the analytics, we've got Azure automation, we've got Azure recovery services, and also security. So the security is 2 parts. So we've got the Azure security and we've got the security solution with the OMS log analytics. Now, we're going to be focusing on the monitoring part of it. So we seem to always relate to OMS as part of the log analytics because it was the base foundation, is how it's always started. So just to make it quicker, I'm going to be referring to log analytics as OMS. Okay, so what is log analytics? So log analytics was a service that started with something called System Center Advisor. And in fact, if you have a look at some of the coding behind and some management packs, and you often find the System Center Advisor words in there still. From that, it sort of evolved into Operational Insights, and it's what it is today. So it's a service, it's a cloud service that allows you to gather computer data, and it could be structured data, unstructured data. We get this data, we put it into this one place where you can search and correlate, analyze, get the insights, put alerts on it, report on it. And it really doesn't matter where the data is coming from. The data can come from Linux servers and Windows servers, and it could come from on-premises, on cloud, AWS, Azure. It really doesn't matter. We just get that data and we put it into this cloud services, this storage, this hyperscale storage account where you can go and search for your data. Now, you can send in 10 gigabytes a day, let's say 100 gigabytes a day. It really doesn't matter. So it's really scalable. So I specialize in Operations Manager, and the Operations Manager will always have a set limit. So we have limits on how many agents you can have and how big your database needs to be. There are no limits. We haven't reached the limits yet. there are no limits to the service, so you can actually have thousands and thousands of computers sending your data to OMS Log Analytics. So it's not just a place where you can just send the data and search. It will also give you insights. So there's a lot of, we use our own knowledge, our own insights, Microsoft's expertise on certain products to give you insights to your data to help you make sense of the data, because just having the data is not enough. You need to make sense of it. And also, once you have all this data together and you can integrate that to Azure automation, you can send out alerts, you can send in web hooks, that becomes a really hybrid monitoring system. So again, the data is coming from everywhere and you can correlate in one central place and you can trigger alerts from that one central place and it becomes a monitoring system. Now, the OMS is relatively new. So it's been around for probably about over a year, GA, a bit over a year, but it's not a new service. It's getting quite mature. So we do have over 50,000 customers already using it. Right now, we have 20 petabytes of data that are searchable. So that's not how much data that has come in, because data comes in and it also gets groomed out as well. But right now, active data is 20. This time last year, it was only 5. So it's growing exponentially. And then you've got 188 million queries per week. This time last year, that was 30 million per month. So it's growing a lot. So how do I use it? How does it work? What do I need to use it? So we've got, it's a service. So you go online, Microsoft.com/OMS, sign up. There is a free tier as well. That you can upload data up to 500 megabytes a day that will store your data for 7 days. And you can connect using your SCOM server. You can use SCOM to manage that. Or if you don't have SCOM, you don't need it. You can have direct agents. You can have Linux agents sending the data straight to the service. And it's not just Windows data or Linux. That data can come from anywhere. Right now, so we've got Azure storage, we've got Event Hub, we've got a lot of Azure solutions that are actually sending the data straight into it, and we also can programmatically send the data via the REST API. So once you have the data and you send all of that to your workspace, you can visualize your data. You can see how everything is operating in one single place, and then from that you can set up alerts and become this own monitoring system. Okay, let's get to the interesting bit. So who has used OMS Log Analytics before? Awesome, heaps of people. So for those who haven't, so I'll show you, this is my workspace. I'll just press home. So each little tile, it presents a solution. And if you're familiar with SCOM, that's sort of like a management pack, It tells you what data it's collecting and what insights you're getting out of the data. So I've got my labs, and I'm collecting data from some different servers. I can start and look and see what's coming up, how much data exactly that I'm collecting. And straight away, just within one last day, it just returned 8 million. That's how fast the research works. So 8 million, I can go over here and sort of start filtering it out. I don't really have to know how the search works, but I can use the helpers on the side here to go and filter it out for me. Okay, so I still got 17. I can filter again. I can use the results themselves to go and maybe group. And then you can see, how much data is coming. So it is just event group by source. Let's go health service. and I get a bunch, 378. I can now still, let's make a little bit readable. I want to know my errors. I got 15 errors. I can drill into it once I search. I can see the date range that I have here. I'm going to just change that to 7 days. And what's really interesting as well is that you have this little minify on the side, which helps you to make sense of your data. So it uses machine learning to go and look through your data and see what is common between them, and you can sort of read them a little bit better. So I can see that out of all of my errors, is something to do with my logon failed. So there's something happening with my database, with my operations manager there. Okay, so this is pretty typical. It's been there for a while. Let's have a look at the perf data. So, we collect computer data, so we're collecting performance data. That data comes in and, displays as a table, as a list. One of the changes that we made is that the return of the counter value, which is this value over there, that counter value was an aggregation of every half an hour. So if you're familiar with Scrum, again, I'm a Scrum person. If you're familiar with Scrum, when you collect the data, performance data, especially from Scrum, that's usually in an interval of every 15 minutes. We get that into the count values of every 15 minutes, and then we store that into the databases. And to make sure that we're saving space in the long run, we also aggregate the data, and we give you 1 hour aggregations and daily aggregations. Now, with OMS, the default, when you configure it, is about 10 seconds. So you're going to get a counter value every 10 seconds. And it's in the list, from the feedback from our customers, it used to be an aggregation of every half an hour, and now we actually give you all the raw values. So you can search each raw value, each 10 seconds that is actually picking it up. So I'm just going to filter it out more. And then we're going to have a look at the graphs because, it's performance, just looking at how the counter value might not really make so much sense, but I can actually get a graph out of it. When you do drill in, so right now my period is 7 days. If you can drill in for less than 6 hours, let's just do 6 hours there. You can actually watch this graph move. And so every 10 seconds, the graph is going to actually refresh, and you're going to get a near real-time performance graph in your dashboard. So the little graph on the side will start changing colors as it's coming. I won't wait for it. So, but what we want to do as well, so this is all the counter value of every 10 seconds, but sometimes I really want to know how things are happening over a period of time. So if I go measure, and I want to get an average of my counter value, I can group that twice, or many times. So I've got a range of 6 hours over there right now. Maybe I want to know the average of every 10 minutes. What did I do? Interval. There we go. Thanks, people, for helping me out. And I deleted my comma. Let's try that again. Okay, and when we do the roll-ups, the aggregations, that's on the fly. So it really doesn't matter what I'm choosing on my aggregation. So I could go 10 minutes, or I could go, let's say, 60 minutes. So it's averaging that time out over a 60-minute period. So it's all on the fly, so you can do the aggregations. I'm just going to, so you can save this if you like. So if you find a nice query, and you can go and save that. You can export it to Power BI into a data set, or you can export it to an Excel. You can set up an alert as well. So when you do set up an alert, you can choose to set up your thresholds, and then also send an email if you'd like to, just be notified. Send a webhook to integrate that with other software, or you can run a runbook. And when you run a runbook, you can choose to run a runbook in the cloud, in Azure, using our runbook engines, or you can use a hybrid as well, which is an OMS agent. So you have assigned to run as a runbook server. So that means that you can run your runbooks within your own environment, bypassing all those trust boundaries. So I'm just going to choose, because I don't want to have to type. I'm pretty bad at typing, you saw that. So I'm just going to go to my favorites. And I saved a few in here for you. So this is my CPU report for one of my SQL servers. And I can do max, and I can do minimum, I can do calculations on the fly, I can get standard deviation as well. And I can choose the way that I view this graph. So you can either do a line graph, as you're seeing right now, or you can do a bar as well, and that more will come. Right now, we have to configure, if you want to see as a bar graph, we actually need to go and change the view, but we're going to be adding, and I was waiting for it to be released this week because it does get released quite quickly. So you actually be able to type it in and pipe into what output format that you want to do, for example, like a pie chart. So it's not that yet, so that's going to fail. Just check Twitter. Usually that's how I find out when new features happen in OMS Log Analytics. Things happen quite fast within the cloud space, so that's the quickest way to be informed. And you can change the way that you see the graph as well. So because this percentage, I might just go one CPU, and I wanted to see from 0 to 100, and that just gives you like a better experience, really. So because it's percentage, you can get another view. All right, so that's the birth data. That's really collecting data, but then you have the other solutions as well. So one of the solutions that I really like is the change tracking that keeps track of your changes. Go figure. How many times have you tried to troubleshoot something? Oh, this stopped working. Why did it stop working? What changed within my system? Change tracking is really good to know if you have any changes in software or services. Right now, I've got 1 day worth of data, so let's just change that. So it's a little bit better. There we go. So I've got some more data in here. I can also keep tracks of files. So if I go into files, and this is quite new as well, I think it's on the preview still. You can see I'm keeping track of any changes done to one of my files that I find very important, which is my very important file. And that's just to give you some context as well, because we're going to start leveraging these solutions and actually put the solutions together so you can correlate and troubleshoot your issues with all the information that you require. One of the things that's quite new that got announced, I think this is still in private preview, is the Network Performance Monitor. I wasn't going to show this, it's really new, but I sort of got it working last night, and I thought I would just give you a little taste of how it works. So It uses your OMS agents, so Windows or Linux OMS agents, to do transactions between your servers, and it measures the your network performance. So it really doesn't matter what infrastructure you've got in place, because you're just using testing from one node to another and seeing how fast it is. So it's more to help system administrators, not to, maybe to be able to point your fingers to your network administrators, I guess. So you actually know if there's an issue, so it's another tool for you to troubleshoot. So I've got some some networks configured, but my networks don't talk to each other. So I'm just going to show you what my nodes look like. Ooh. Okay, my nodes are not dead anymore. Okay, right, no. I'll just bring up another one in a bit and I'll show you what the network map would look like. Okay, I just wanted to point it out as well. This workspace is a demo workspace, so it's an experience workspace. It's available for everyone. So it's on that link, experience.mms.microsoft.com. You're welcome to go there and have a play. So it gives you access to a demo environment that we play with. And there's just a little bit more data in there, so you can go and see how things work. I have a link to that in my slides as well. Okay, and this is the demo environment that you can get access to. Let's see if they've got the network performance monitor configured better than mine. Maybe not. So you can see, you can get network latency between nodes, between networks as well, and you hopefully will show, you can graph how the latency is performing over a period of time. Come on, maybe not, maybe we got nothing there. It can drill in as well in the graph, it just shows, it might not show. There's my preview graph. See? That's what happens with previews. And then you can get a nice topology view as well from nodes. In my lab, it looks really silly because it looks like this. It's like one server to another server. But with a proper network, you can get a full topology of what your network looks like. Okay, let's try this again. One more thing, because it is preview as well, so hopefully let's make sure that it works. So another set of solutions, because it's not just one, it's a bunch of solutions that we have called assessments. So I'm a Premier Field Engineer. So as a Premier Field Engineer, I help you guys to get the best out of your operations manager. So one of my engagements is to come in and do a health assessment of an environment. And I'll come in and I'll run a tool through the environment, and I'll get all the data from it, analyze it, and give you recommendations. And that's on performance, health, and risk. And what OMS has done is picked up a set of these rules that we get and put it into the OMS workspace. So you can actually do assessments of your systems as with using the knowledge, the same material that we actually use during our engagements. Now, like I said before, you can get a free trial of OMS. Getting access to this is free. You can go and actually get your operations manager. I think there's a SQL in there. There's an AD assessment, and there's more to come. So right now, I've got one issue, and it's probably because I haven't actually entered my license into my operations manager. So it's actually raising that as a big risk. You know, it will stop working if I don't do something about it. And it tells me how to fix it as well. I might know someone who can get me a license. And also I know what is being affected, and it gives you like a little bit of help on how to troubleshoot. So all of the assessments, they work on interval cycle of every 7 days. So with my engagements, when I come and have a look at your environment, it's just a particular certain time. You know, it's 3 hours that I'm collecting all this data, and I'll giving recommendations. OMS will be there and running the same thing every 7 days. Okay, what's new as well, it was announced last month, was a new service called Azure Monitor. So it's a service that focuses around 3 things. The data, so what type of data we're collecting. So we are making sure that you can, that you have those insights to the services within Azure itself. A lot of the changes that we're making is that we used to get the data, so Log Analytics had to have an access to a storage. So all of your diagnostic data had to go into a storage first, and then we will go and actually put it into Log Analytics. Now we are transitioning that, so it's the only first-party product service that will actually go and collect your data straight from your service and put it into Log Analytics. So it doesn't have the middle, so you're not paying for storage to store your diagnostic data. So there's 3 ones that we are working around. So the activity log, that's the Azure activity log, the metrics, diagnostic log. The second thing is the UX integration as well. So we're making sure that when you do transition from portal to another, that's really seamless, and we're bringing in the workspace from your OMS into your Azure. And the last thing is that is a work in progress, is that making sure that we have those Azure services, insights, and put it into OMS. So we've got a new one, Application Insights, that was mentioned in the keynote. So Application Insights is an awesome service that really gives you a really deep dive into monitoring your application. The point, when you look at it though, you can only troubleshoot that from one application. Log Analytics sets all of your app insights starting in one together, so you can see how all of your apps are actually behaving all at once. See, I've got really few slides for you. Let's get back into this. Okay, so this is what my workspace looks like. And this is what my Azure portal looks like. So the Azure Monitor is this service that got announced. And it just centralizes your logs, your activity logs, your metrics and diagnostics. So, you know, you can go and search for something that you might be interested in. But what if you're not sure, you know, what it is that I'm really looking for within my activity? I just want to make sure that everything is okay. So what we have is the activity solution within OMS that gets all of that information from many subscriptions, so it doesn't have to be just one single subscription. It can get from many Azure subscriptions into one place and see how you behave in your subscription. So you can see, I'm really happy there's only my name in there, because if there was someone else in there, that would be, you know, it wouldn't be good because I'm the only one who should have access to it. But then you can see who's actually making the most use of it. You know, is there anyone making calls in there that shouldn't be in there? So right now I've got everything is running really well. You know, things are succeeding and starting. But if I had too many failures, that's probably something that I'll drill into to troubleshoot, because something's failing with my environment and that I might not be aware of. And then you see here as well, you can see what it is that's actually happened the most. It's a lot of my VMs, in these regions. I've made a couple of changes to my app plan the other day. I've got lots of changes to my storage, which is fine. And I also use a dev test lab, which Regan mentioned in the keynote. So you can sort of see, what I used it for, and everything's going really well. So flicking back to my portal though, monitor, there we go. I can configure my diagnostics logs, for example, instead of going to a storage account. So I've got an application over here. And I can turn on my diagnostics for those applications. So one of the choices that we had was only to put that into a storage account. Now we have more options, and we can actually send that straight into OMS and be able to search for the data and be able to analyze the data, instead of actually having to put it into storage first and then pay for it and then put it into OMS. And then the UX integration, which is, let's just expand this so we can see. So this is my log analytics. So this is my account for my log analytics OMS. I can browse it from here, and from there I can do a search the same way that I will do using the OMS portal. And it comes up. So Azure portal, workspace. And not just searching, I can do, let's go back there. That's the monitor, no. Log analytics, go back to my account. And I can also get my overview page and drill in as well, the same way that you do with the workspace. You can see the time frame there is last 24 hours. And because we have this really nice integration between the both portals, with the workspace and the Azure portal, you can mix them together. So this is my favorite part. I can actually pick one of my tiles in here and send that to my dashboard. And I can build up my Azure portal and my Azure resources and get that log onto it and get that really insight on my first page and my first dashboard. Come on. Internet. I don't know about you guys, but in Australia we have really slow internet as well, which is really depressing. While that's running, I'm just going to leave it there. And then you can go and add new solutions as well. I haven't got it configured, but I thought I'd just put it, show you anyway, so if you want to go and have a play with it. We have a new solution called SQL Analytics. That is the same thing as the integration between the portal and your OMS workspace to give you insights into your resources from your Azure. In this case, it's a SQL Azure as well. All right, let's see if it can back up. No. All right, let's try another one. Just because I'm stubborn. Another one, my overview. Let's see, application insights. Let's put that into that. my patience is running out. Right, let's move on. So OMS security, so it's a service within itself. Like I said, it's one of the 4 components of the OMS. It's one of the things that we try to give you focus. So we take on OMS security with the assumption that it's going to be a breach. And we make sure we help you try to detect those breaches as soon as possible. So the average time for you to detect a breach is usually 200 days. It's ridiculous, isn't it? 200 days for you to detect a breach, a security breach. And then another average of 80 days for you to recover from it and clean it up. So what we're trying to do with OMS security is make sure that that's really quickly, that, yes, it might happen, and when it does happen, we want to make sure that it's visible and you can see it straight away. So security updates is one of the main or the highest risk factor that you have in having a security breach. Anti-malware, we leverage whatever software anti-malware that you use. Most of them use Windows API, and we can actually see if you're protected or not. We do security configuration baseline. One of the things that I do analyze when I do an assessment in your environment is to make sure that you have that running and that you collect that and you know what it is that you need to do to make a computer safer, or that you're aware that you can do that. And we've also got identity and threat analysis, which is my 2 favorite things, and I'll show you why. My lab is actually quite stable, like it does work, and I never really have any much issues. Oh, one of them shut up. We don't really have much, I don't have much issues with it. But as soon as I look at my security, it just brings to mind all the threats that are there that I'm not actually aware that they exist. Talking to you guys and my customers, a lot of the security guys is that I can't actually give them a dashboard in Scrum to see how well your security is going, because most of the time, you don't see it. It's one of those mitigations that you put in place, but you don't see the good work. You just know that everything's fine. And I really like the OMS, because OMS actually brings it out. How many threats there are all the time out there, and yes, you're safe. So I'm just going to change so this is the security solution itself, and it's a bunch of different solutions within a security solution. I'm going to change this to 7 days to just give me a little bit more data. And the dashboard makes you focus. So it knows, yes, I'm getting my security records. They look right, so I'm getting the information that I need. I've got issues in here that I need to look at. My number one is that, yes, I do have some computers missing updates. And there's notable issues. If it's something that you want to know about it, you can edit this as well. For example, if there are people changing the domain admin group, you can actually narrow it down and put it into the notable issues so you can see that that's happening. So this is what I was talking about. This is the threat analytics. So the threat analytics within the OMS solution. So you can see there are so many connections coming into my service. So each little arrow in orange means that someone tried to connect. There's no red arrows. When there's a red one, it means there's a breach and something's already happened. So we're fine, looking not too bad. And then, because I do have, people are trying to connect to my computers, and then I go into this accounts failed to log on, and then I can see all of the accounts that people have tried to log on to my servers with. So I kid you not, I had a dream about this. I dreamed that someone used my account. So I'm going to have to rename it now, right? Because I'm going to say it to everyone. My admin account is called Boss, B-O-S-S. That's how that's my admin account name. And I often go into this list and make sure that it's not listed in there, because that way I know that people are not haven't guessed my account yet and not trying to guess the password, especially when you use something like Piat55. So you can see there's attack. There's stuff happening to my computers, but everything is fine. You can drill into what's happening, and you can see the type of threat it is. So this one is a botnet. It's a configure, so that's really known for stealing identity as well. It's not as bad. Let me just, since I've got it connected already to that demo that you guys have access, let me just see what it looks like on that one. That's one day. Oh yes, there's a lot more stuff in there. So it depends on your subscription. Yeah, so you've got a retention period. The free one is 7 days. The standard one is 30 days, but you can extend that. Yeah. So there we go. So there's a threat. So there's something here happening. This is really exciting. I've never seen this red before. It wasn't red this morning. Let's go back to that one, threat intelligence. Come on. My excitement can't take this. Hurry up. Okay, so someone probably guessed the password. It says a configure coming from China. Usually there's a bit of a report and overview in there. If there isn't one, it's because the information is really new. So the beauty about the OMS security solution is that you don't have to apply definition updates to your servers or to your server. You don't have to make sure that everything is up to date. All the data just goes into the cloud, goes into OMS, and we do that for you. We make sure that all information here is up to date. And more often than not, these malicious IP addresses, they are there within an hour. And when they're really, really new, we actually don't get the full information about them. We still know that they're malicious and we still report on them, but we're still building a database on them. So let's go with the outgoing and see. Yeah, like, is this a demo? Yes, I know. And then you can go and see what servers that actually got affected. Now that's my local IP, and that's the computer there. All right, so we're talking about OMS security. Let's talk about what's other set of data that we want to do, that we want to put it in there. So about July, I think this is globally available now. So it's preview, but I think it's been released. So you can actually do putting the data into the OMS just using a REST API. So it uses JSON as the input, and then the connection is all authenticated, hashed, using your workspace ID. So there are documentation online. So the documentation that we have covers Python, it covers C#, and also PowerShell. It's just, you can go and copy and paste and just build your JSON document and put that into your workspace. And then because you can actually get any type of data, it really doesn't matter what it is that you put it in there. So let's do some search. Oops. Underscore CL. All right, so these are my Twitter logs. I'm collecting them on Twitter. So what I want to do is just filter that out just a little bit. So what I have over here, it's what you guys were helping me with. So you sent a tweet for me using the hashtag, and I'm collecting all of the tweets that we're using for the event. And I use a Logic app in Azure. It picks up, it goes into my account, does a search for the hashtags, gets the text, and sends it to Cortana, so our cognitive services, to get a sentiment out of that. And then I'll get the sentiment, it gives you a rating of 0 to 1, and I translate that, which I think should be positive and neutral and negative, and I'm quite generous, to be honest. And then I'll put that into my OMS, and this is what it looks like. So once you have, it's all this custom data, and you want to search, and you can save, you can export it, but also what you can do is also build your own solution. So, and this is just how you're going to visualize your data. So my solution is called Ignite NZ Rocks. And then my type of solution, Twitter logs, custom log. Okay. Looks good. And then I'm just going to visualize and see if people are really liking it. So just give it a name, and let's make a donut out of it. So type Twitter logs, that's not it, it helps. And then I just want to measure that by sentiment. Oh, there we go. That looks good. And then I can sort of match the colors to what I like it to be. So if it's positive, I want it green. Nice green. Negative. I want a neutral, no, red for the one, and last one is neutral. And then same thing here. Custom log. I'll measure by Twitter user, I think. Yes. Okay, it looks good. I'm just going to save this because it's not refreshing. There we go. Oh, bummer. Didn't save. Okay, I'm going to do it again. Can't not live with this. Oh, look at that. Are you still with me? Let's just do that and see if it works. Oh, that's much better. There we go. That's what I want to do. Okay, so then you can sort of visualize, get a really good visual of what your data looks like. I was actually drilling into the negative to see, what it is that people are complaining about. There were a couple of complaints, a lot of people complaining that they're not here today. And a lot of people complaining that we don't have a scaled out method when we're actually queuing for registration, and people ended up queuing in the rain. So, you know, you could really narrow down to what the sentiment was this morning for the session. Okay. Right, there's more. So we give a little bit to for everyone. So we've got, you know, your security guys, we've got your IT pros. We've also got something for application owners. So we've got something called Application Dependency Monitor, which allows you to visualize how your application is put together. So it helps you to have a look and see, migrate your applications, or to see what changes are you going to do to your system that might affect your application. So it's called Application Dependency Monitor. So it picks up your processes within your servers, and for each process, what TCP connection it has out, and it maps that out for you. Do you guys want to? So this is preview again. So it's private preview. I think it will be public preview either end of this week or beginning of next week. So you guys can go and have a look and check it out and see how you like it. Okay. So no, I don't want to save it. You suck. So going back to here. So Application Dependency Monitor. I think I do have a couple applications, but one of them is not connected. So this is what the application dependency would look like. So it's an agent-based. So you've got your OMS agent, but you also has, so if you click down here to monitor more machines, it's an extra agent that you download and install into your servers. And that's going to read all of the processes and see what the TCP connections is, and maps that out to another server that has an agent as well. So for example, you can see all of my outgoing connections. I can see there is a failed connection from my monitoring host, which is some sort of monitoring that's happening, a workflow that is happening. I can see, so if I click on it, it will give me the details. So this little arrow here, so with the little number, means there are client connections, and these are client connections to my terminal services. So it's all those people trying to guess my password, which I'm probably going to have to change after session because I told everyone. But yeah, so you can see all the connections in there, and then you can drill in to other nodes as well. So there's a lot of connections. So some of the connections here are mine, I'm using it right now. I've got the performance, network performance failing. So I can see that there's failed connections for my performance monitoring. So that's probably why it wasn't actually working earlier on when I was trying to show you on this app. I can see. So where we're going to build it from here is that we're going to start building the other services, the other solutions within OMS to give you the full picture. So we know, yes, you have a node, but you have these alerts open, you've got these changes open, you'll be able to track with your wire data and actually integrate with the other solutions as well and give you that whole picture. So over here I've got like my change control, but I haven't, the period of time that I've got in there is with last 10 minutes. So it really hasn't had any changes with the last 10 minutes. Let's try hour. Probably not. I did stop a service before, but I think we were running a little bit late, so it might not come up. Oh, there we go. So I've got some, so you can sort of like drill into the time and see what, within that time I still had a broken connection and I had these changes happening on my server. So that's pretty interesting. I really like that one. It was one of the functions that I really wish that we had within Operations Manager. We've got the functionality there. It's just building that distributed application dynamically, which is pretty cool. Okay, nearly there. We're nearly done. We still have time for questions. So OMS roadmap. So everything happens really quickly in OMS. And it's awesome because I was building a solution using one of the tiles, and the tiles, and it was broken, it wasn't working. Within 2 days, they got fixed. Now, one of the queries that I was working on for a customer, it was failing with a format issue, and I wasn't too sure if it was me or if it was what it was. Again, it got fixed within a week. I didn't actually have to wait for a whole 3 months for an update roll-up to get released and fixed. So changes happen really quickly. So there's a lot of changes that's happened this year, and there'll be a lot more coming up. So we'll be able to help you to choose to build your own queries, so you don't actually have to do it yourself. We'll build on the application dependency as well, like I said, so you'll be able to filter it out and customize your applications. There will be a new alert management. There is an alert management solution that right now we're building on that, and it's sort of scary because we're giving state for alerts, so you know when alerts are active and not active, and that's very close to SCOM and how SCOM works, right? Wire data, so you can see all your TCP connections coming in and out of your servers and search on that historically as well. We've got custom solutions. So right now, yes, you can collect the data, you can visualize it, but what if you want to send that to someone else? So we're be able to actually build custom solutions using Azure templates. We build more assessments as well. So you saw the SCOM one. There's already SQL and AD. There will be more assessments coming up. A lot of integration with third-party tools, and also we're going to be building a lot more on the Azure SaaS integrations as well. So really, really exciting. I love OMS. There's always a lot of stuff coming out of it. It's always changing, so it gets really exciting. All right, we've got 5 minutes. You're welcome to ask any questions if you have any questions.
Can the Microsoft Advanced Threat Analytics platform plug into OMS?
Yeah, can the Advanced Threat Analytics integrate into OMS? Yes. So the security assessment actually can leverage what you have deployed already. Yeah, and display that into the dashboard. Yeah. Yes. Pardon me, say that again? Do I use agents? Okay, come and talk to me. So the agents that we use is just the Microsoft monitoring agent. It's the same agent as the SCOM agent. It's just a little versions ahead of time. Yeah. No, okay, look, if you can think of any questions, this is my email address. I'm happy to help you guys. There are some content as well in the slides, so you can actually go and try those slides for yourself. Yes, another question. Say that again, sorry. What's the size? Application size? Yeah, so it's all tightly integrated. So what you have to do is in your workspace is give access to your Application Insights accounts, and all of the Application Insights data goes into that. So it actually gives you a solution with all of your applications in one view, so you can see everything in there. And because it's searchable, you can search it as well on it. It's a yes, exactly. It's a first party integration. Yeah. All right, thank you everyone. Don't forget to do your evals. There's some prizes for evals. I really appreciate your time. Thank you very much.